Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Canon photographer Randall M. Rueff. I'm going to talk to you about the new Canon 1DC Mark II, which is supposed to have 8K video recording. My question is, 8K? So what? So what? So what? I'll tell you what. What? 4K is a huge file size. 8K is going to be bigger. 4 is big. 8 is bigger. Bigger. Your computer is going to have to be better, faster, stronger, have more memory, have more hard disk space. Everything is going to have to be bigger. More capacity, more speed, more strength. You're going to have higher capacity cards in the camera and computer hard disk space. And my question is, so what? You know what? A lot of people still aren't grasping 4K. A lot of people don't have 4K TVs, monitors. Some people do, some people don't, but people are just getting to the point where they're getting 4K monitors and TVs. 8K is a long way away from everyday adoption. We're still adopting 4K, so the fact that they're doing 8K, let's say this camera is for real. Let's say for a second that this camera is actually on its way, which I'm sure it will be eventually. Whether it's called the 1DC Mark II, I'm sure 8K cameras are on their way. It's just a matter of time. The red camera has 8K, but it's very expensive. Very expensive. Will Canon have 8K video? I'm sure in time. It's just a matter of time. And, as prices go down, it'll happen. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna, even if it's very expensive to start off with, it's gonna happen. There's no doubt about that. It's just, my question or comment is, so what? There's a lot of things that are gonna have to happen and change before 8K really matters. Let's talk about HD. HD is 720p and 1080p. And for a lot of people, 1080p is very good, especially at 60 frames a second. I'm very impressed with that quality. Is it perfect? No, of course not. Is 4K better, 2K and 4K better? Yeah, sure, of course. But right now, I would say 1080p is kind of a standard. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I think right now that's kind of the standard. It's good quality. Like I said, you can shoot it at 24 frames, 25 frames, 29, 30, 59, or 60 frames a second, and it looks real good. Like I said, I especially like the 60 frames a second. I think it looks, the video quality when you're playing back looks really, really good. Now, let's say this camera's out there. Would I like to unbox it? Yeah. Would I like to use it? Yeah. Would I like to have the best of the best? Sure, of course. But let's be honest. If I had this camera today, I don't know that I'd be shooting a lot of 8K video, if any at all. Yeah, of course, I'm going to do an introductory video that's 8K. But let's talk about that. 8K. I don't have an 8K display. So I'm not going to my computer doesn't do 8K. I don't have an 8K TV. YouTube will downsize the file to probably 4K at best. So how am I actually going to see the 8K? I'm not. I can't. I can see a video that's recorded in 8K. I won't be able to see the full resolution of the 8K. So, for all practical purposes, 8K doesn't exist. The only way you're going to be able to see 8K in today's standard, because they're not making 8K displays, at least not yet. I'm sure eventually they will, no doubt about it. But right now, to record something in 8K, and to be able to see it in 8K, you're going to have an 8K display. And those are extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. Now, of course, prices are going to go down as time goes on. That just goes without saying. But as for right now, an 8K display, 4K displays aren't cheap. Especially if you get a decent sized one. So an 8K display, oh my gosh. Yeah, they're very expensive. So it's a matter of time, yes, but right now, it's not even practical. You're not going to be able to. Let's say you had an 8K display and this camera did 8K recording. That's the only way you're going to get 8K content, because nobody's out there shooting 8K content for the most part. I'm not saying there aren't people out there shooting 8K content, because there are. But when you see that content, it's been downsized. Unless you have an 8K TV, it's been downsized to 4K or 2K or even 1080p. Because, like I said, if you're watching on the internet, 9 times out of 10 it's on YouTube, and they only go up to 4K. And even then, their codec it's going to downsize the file. You're not going to be able to see it. Even if you record straight from the camera to YouTube, you're not going to see 8K. The only way you're going to have 8K is if you have an 8K TV and an 8K camera. And like I said, nobody's broadcasting, at least that I'm aware of, nobody's broadcasting in 8K. Because there's no purpose. There's no... Now, if you want something, what they call future proofing, where 20 years from now it'll still look good, and yeah, this might be the way to go. And one of the things I think where this will be of use is if you want to, let's say you want to shoot a wide open area and then crop down or crop out part of the image for the video, or take video stills. I mean, there are some uses for this, but the shooting 8K and expecting to be able to use that footage, for the most part, not practical. Because, like I said, I don't know anybody that has an 8K TV or monitor. YouTube. So you're not gonna be able to post it on the internet at 8K. In any of the mainstream formats, Facebook, Flickr, or YouTube, Vimeo, whatever the case may be. The only way you're going to be able to see this 8K footage at 8K resolution is if you record with an 8K camera and post it to an 8K display. That's the only way. And that's not, by today's, how we do things today, that's not practical. Then, let's take that aside. Second thing is the file size for these videos is going to be enormous. 4K eats up enough data and space as it is, a lot. 8K, oh my gosh. I mean, just think about it. I mean, I can only imagine what the ratio of how many megabytes or even gigabytes per minute this thing's going to eat up. Like I said, if I had an 8K camera, I would probably do maybe a 1 minute introductory video for maybe my YouTube channel, or do a video saying, hey, look, this is 8K in the year 2017. But that's about it, because for everyday use on YouTube and doing videos, it's not a practical thing. Let's talk about heat. The higher resolution you get, for some reason, it just seems that the cameras get hotter faster, and they get hot enough at recording 4K. So the factor of how much, and the reason is because you have to have so much electricity and power going through a camera to power it for, say, 4K or 6K or 8K, and it takes more power. So anytime it takes more power, it creates more heat. More heat, you have to come up with ways to dissipate the heat without, so that the cameras and the compact cards aren't damaged. So again, the heat's an issue. Of course, I'm sure they're going to come up with ways to dissipate the heat, but that's just the point. They do have to come up with a way to dissipate that heat so the card, the, the recording media, and the camera itself aren't hurt. So, what else? I think we're getting to a point. Another thing is we're getting to a point where the resolution, if we're not there already, maybe 8K is the limit, maybe it's 10K, maybe it's 7, I don't know. But we're going to get to a point soon where the resolution is so good that our eyes aren't able to detect it because the resolution is more than our eyes can perceive. So the question is that 8K? I don't know. But if it's not, it won't be too much longer before that's the point. And you have to take that into consideration. Another thing is your workflow, 8K, because it is such a large file size, your computer's going to have to be more powerful. You're going to have more memory, RAM, and hard disk space. Processors are going to have to be faster and better. There's just a lot of things that go into 8K. Now, would I like to have this camera? Yeah, sure. Assuming I don't have to shoot in 8K. Can I shoot in 7K, 6K, 5K, 4K, 3K, 2K, 1080p, 720p, or 420p, or even 270? And you're saying, well, why would you want to shoot in something like 270 or 420, which is standard definition? Or 480, excuse me. Well, sometimes you just want to send a small, low-res something in the email. So that might be a reason to record that small file format. So I like to have options. I think they've learned from past experience about codec, and they're gonna have some better codec. But let's be honest, it doesn't matter how good of a codec unless they come up with some kind of miracle codec for recording video. 8K is still gonna be a very large file size, and it's gonna take up a lot of space. So, are there other things that I would be more interested in? Yeah. Would I like to see better low light? Yeah. More frames per second in photo mode? Yeah. Higher ISO? Yeah. Built-in Wi-Fi? Yeah. Enhanced GPS to make the GPS even more accurate? Yeah. Although the GPS is pretty good. A better touch screen, or the touch screen was better. More options for actually using the touchscreen capabilities. Yeah. So there's a lot of things I think they can, and they're probably working on updating. So my question is basically when it comes to 8K, so what? I mean that's all I can say. So what? I mean um, it's just I mean things like the resolution for the still photos and the frames per second and the high and low ISOs. These are things that are more important to me than the 8K. Do I like knowing that it can do 8K? Yeah, sure. But it's just for me, it's not going to be something I'm going to be using on an everyday basis, for the most part. Are there people that need 8K? Yeah, sure. There's people that probably want 12 or 15K videos. So that, people who do scientific work where they're studying, either microscopic blood cells or atoms and trying to figure out what they think is the mystery of the universe. There's a lot. There's call for 8K video. I'm not saying that there's not, or even more K as it becomes available. But for the average person, it's not something that is needed. Although I'm sure it's wanted. I don't have 8K. As I've described in this video, it's not something I need. But I like the idea that I can record something that maybe in 20 years is still going to be considered decent resolution. So there is that. There is that future, what they call future proofing. I don't know if it's really future proof, but it has its place and it has its uses. But for the average person, I don't think, at least for right now, it's not something that we really need. But I'm glad Canon's continuing, and other manufacturers continuing to raise the bar. So I'm glad to see they're trying to raise the bar and are making strides in that direction. Uh, Not in just in resolution, but in other features like ISO and frames per second and processor speed, all that. So that's a good thing. Those are some of the things that come about by the trying to develop newer and better. Um, if I don't use 8K, can I use more frames per second? Yeah. Can I use faster processors? Yeah. Can I use faster file transfers? Yeah. I mean, so there are a lot of things that increase development and furthering the technology uh, can make happen that I want to make happen, and photographers in general want to make happen. But when it comes to 8K, I say, so what? So until next time, I'm Canon photographer Randall M saying thanks for watching. Have a good day. God bless. Until next time, keep taking those pictures. Bye.